A rough weekend for the Kansas City Stars as they drop a pair of games to the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs. And it doesn't get any easier this weekend with games against the Knights and another game with the Ice Hogs on Sunday. I'll discuss that on this week's episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. And welcome to the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Rob Plamondon. Thank you for watching. As always, some reminders. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Turn on notifications, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're not subscribed or following the Stars on social media, links to Facebook, X, and Instagram are in the description. Today's podcast brought to you by Clarkson Construction, a Midwest leader in delivering innovative solutions for some of the region's largest infrastructure projects. By Global Earthworks and Underground, more than 12 years of mission-critical experience providing expert site utilities, mass excavation, and paving services. And by Crown Realty, family-owned and operated since 1973, the oldest and largest independent real estate firm in the area. We want to thank our sponsors for their support of Kansas City Stars hockey. Well, a rough one last weekend for the Stars as they dropped a pair of games to the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs by scores of 6-0 and 7-4. And as I mentioned in last week's preview on the podcast, I thought these games could have gone a lot of different ways, and certainly this is one of the ways I thought they could have gone against a very, very good Northwest Arkansas team. Northwest Arkansas really, they controlled the play in both games for the most part, certainly in that first game. And not only did that show on the scoreboard, but also if you look at the shots on goal, in Saturday's game, Northwest Arkansas outshot the Stars by a margin of 34-15, and in Sunday's game by a margin of 38-20. And I think that was pretty indicative of just how much the Ice Hogs controlled play and how much of the play was in the Stars' end versus in the Ice Hogs' end. That top line, Max Saunders, Chance Freed, William Sullivan, they accounted for 8 of the 13 goals. Saunders had a hat trick in Sunday's game. And one of the keys I mentioned was the ability to control or contain that line and try to minimize the amount of damage they did. Clearly that didn't happen. Eight goals just amongst those 3. And when you throw in 5 other goals from some of the other players, it just makes them very, very difficult to beat. Not able to get the puck to the net. That was one of the keys I brought up last week, is you got to get the puck to Asher Henkel with 15 and 20 shots in each of those games. That's just not enough. You got to get more shots on goal. They were able to score in Sunday's game. They had some great scoring opportunities, but 15 and 20 shots against a team like Northwest Arkansas, just not enough to get it done. I did thought they played well on the power play in Saturday's game. They killed, I believe it was 6. They had 6 power penalty kills. Northwest Arkansas only converted on 1 of those. Power play, unfortunately, the Stars only had 1 power play in that game, and I'll touch on that in a moment. And on that power play, they allowed a shorthanded goal. So special teams, okay. Penalty kill was good. Power play probably needed to be a little bit better. Stars did play better in Sunday's game. Northwest Arkansas did jump out to a lead, but the Stars cut it to 4-3 late in the second period before a late second period goal by the Ice Hogs and a pair of goals in the third period put it away. Goals by Ben Grant. Seton Swan had his 4th of the year. For Grant's goal, that was his 8th. Ashton Schimmel picked up his 5th of the year, and Truett Spiker with his 14, rounding out the Stars' goal scorers. But just not enough offense, and the inability to contain that top line for the Ice Hogs certainly made it very difficult, and I think contributed a lot to the outcome that we saw in those games. Saturday's game, unfortunately, was marred. I don't want to get critical of the officiating. I just thought it was just not a very well officiated game, and unfortunately late in the game, Carson Reuter ended up with a misconduct, I think, early in the third period, and then at the end of the game was assessed a game misconduct, so he was not able to play in Sunday's game, and I'm not sure exactly what the exchange was, but I believe he was just letting the referee know his opinion of the officiating, and the referee obviously didn't take too kindly of that, and unfortunately Carson had to sit out Sunday's game. But other than that, just a tough weekend, and certainly something the Stars can draw on to look at things they need to improve on as they head into an even more difficult part of the schedule here over the next couple of weeks with games against the Knights and the Ice Hogs this coming weekend. As far as league standings go, Northwest Arkansas jumped back into first place. They have still yet to lose this year. They have a 12-game unbeaten streak. The only blemish on their record is a tie in the first game of the year. Since then, they have rattled off 11 straight wins and have looked very strong in the process, and they now sit atop the standings. Stars in second place with a record of 9 wins, 3 losses, 3 ties, 21 points. They are currently 1 point ahead of the Knights in the league standings. After this, in the next segment, I will take a look at the Kansas City Knights and preview this weekend's games on the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. Things don't get any easier for the Stars this weekend as they head across state lines into enemy territory to face the Kansas City Knights this Friday evening at the Independent Ice Center, a 6 o'clock game, and then back at the Kansas City Ice Center on Sunday morning for another battle with the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs. I'm not going to go into detail on the Ice Hogs. You can watch last week's podcast for my preview. I think most of the comments are still are pretty relevant there. Also in the first segment, reviewing last weekend's games, I think a lot of that can be drawn from there. So what I'd like to do is let's take a look at the Kansas City Knights here. Stars played them a couple times earlier. I'll mention that in just a moment. They come into this game with a record of 9 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties. That's 20 points. They're currently sitting in third place, 1 point behind the Stars. But they do have 1 game in hand on the Stars, so that makes this game on Friday, I think, that much more important for the Stars to get at least a point and hopefully 2 points. So far through their 14 games, the Knights have scored 64 goals, allowed 29. These two teams did play earlier this year in November. The Knights winning the first game by a score of 5-1, and the second game a 4-4 tie, which that was a very entertaining game if you had an opportunity to see that. And if you get a chance on the YouTube channel, we have all the games posted there if you want to watch any of the old games. Scoring leaders for the Knights, Evan Comey leads them with 16 points, 10 goals, 6 assists. Brody Cunningham right there as well, 16 points. He has 8 goals and 8 assists. Right behind those guys, you got Gunnar Smith with 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. Henry Zwillingberg, 10 goals, 4 assists, 14 points. Hoyt Banks with 7 goals and 3 assists. Bo Smith with 4 goals and 5 assists. And one thing I noticed about this team, they don't have that real dominant line like you saw with Northwest Arkansas or with Midmo. What they have here is a very consistent set of lines across their entire roster, which I think makes them very dangerous in the standpoint that regardless of who they have on the ice, they're capable of scoring. They're capable of hurting you. They're capable of putting the puck in the net. And regardless of who's out there, you can't take a shift off. So the Stars are going to have to play 45 minutes of hockey. And regardless of who's on the ice, whether it's top line, third line, it doesn't matter. You've got to play hard. You've got to win each shift at the very least. Keep the puck out of your net. And because the Knights they're a deep team, and they've got a lot of players out there that can hurt you, and they may juggle up the lines too. So you've got to be aware of who's on the ice. And again, if you look at their at their stats, they're very very solid from top to bottom. Some of the guys that I mentioned earlier, like Cunningham's Willingberg, Bo Smith scored goals in the earlier games against the Stars. Brent Dunlop had a couple of goals in that second game. Kingston Sanders, Hoyt Banks also scored. So a variety of scores, and you just cannot take a shift off with these guys. They're also a big and physical team, and we didn't see a lot of physicality in the Northwest Arkansas game. But I think this game Friday is probably going to be a lot more physical, and the Stars, I think, are going to have to take a physical mentality into this game, increase that physicality, put body on body on the puck carrier, because the Knights are going to do that. The Knights are going to be very physical, and do all the other things that we talk about week after week. In goal, Trent Smith has played 10 of the 12 games. He will probably be the guy in goal if I were to guess, only because Weston Russo, who's the backup, currently shows as injured. So I'm going to assume that Sam Dinsmore will be suiting up as the backup goalie. Trent Smith, as I mentioned, has played 12 games with a .238 goals against average and an .892 save percentage. Those are very solid numbers. He's been strong in net all year, and the Stars saw that in the earlier games this year in which Smith played in goal. So they can get the puck past him. But like I mentioned against Northwest Arkansas, you've got to get the puck to the net, and I think that's going to be one of the keys here. Other things I see for this game, as I mentioned, you can't take a shift off. These guys have three solid lines. They're strong in defense, and regardless of who's on the ice, they can score. So you've got to play hard every shift. I think they're going to have to be physical, but at the same time be patient. Get the puck to the net. Play a full 45 minutes. Cannot afford a lull. All that will do is just result in the puck ending up in the back of your net. Avoid the turnovers, especially in the D zone and in the neutral zone. I know I talk about that all the time, but it's just critical. We saw a lot of defensive zone turnovers last week, a lot of turnovers in the neutral zone. And when teams can transition from defense to offense at center ice, it's just much harder to get back on defense and stop those odd man rushes, which can be created in those situations. So, should be a good weekend of hockey. Friday's game at 6 o'clock at the Independence Ice Center. I'm not sure if we're in the bowl or in the community side, so we'll find out when we get there. And then Sunday, back at the KC Ice Center to take on the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs. Game time Sunday morning, 9:10 a.m. I want to thank you for watching, and just a reminder, all Kansas City Stars games, both varsity and JV, are broadcast live on the Kansas City Stars YouTube channel, and all broadcasts are also posted on the YouTube channel in case you're not able to catch the games live. I want to thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the next episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast.